Now, all of this is happening in Karnataka. The fact is, there are implications, many believe, of that on the UP elections. Remember, this is the mother of all battles that's taking place in Uttar Pradesh. So how is the Hijab Row playing on the ground in a state which in the past has been polarized on religious issues? So what I did today is I traveled to old Lucknow, which has a large minority population, to find out how the people there looked at the hijab issue. And guess what? Most of them believe it's a non-issue. Focus on jobs and infrastructure, they say. Forget about hijab. Take a look. ये बताइए, ये कर्नाटका में हिजाब का मुद्दा उठा है, क्या आपको लगता है सही है, गलत है?
गलत है।
महिलाओं को हिजाब के साथ स्कूल जाना चाहिए?
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
हाँ,
बिल्कुल जाना चाहिए।
आप तो बड़ी अच्छी तरह से जा रही है अपने बाइक पर।
हाँ, तो ये भी तो हिजाब पहने हैं, कौन इनको बुरा कह रहा है? आप बुरा कहेंगे इनको, इनके लिबास को? ये तो डिसेंसी में है, डिसेंट लेडी कही जाएंगी ये,
तो आप
शासन में जा रही है।
तो आपको लगता है हिजाब लड़कियों को चॉइस होनी चाहिए, अगर वो पहनना चाहे पहनना होना चाहिए। कर्नाटका में मुद्दा उठा है हिजाब का, क्या आपको लगता है ये मुद्दा है महिलाओं के लिए या नहीं है, या चुनावों के लिए बनाया जाता है ये मुद्दा?
चुनावों के लिए बनाया गया है।
आम मुस्लिम महिला को कोई लेना देना नहीं इससे।
है क्यों नहीं? हम लोग नकाब औरतें ओढ़ेंगे इंशाल्लाह, क्यों नहीं ओढ़ेंगे?
आपको लगता है ये पॉलिटिकल हो गया है और इससे आम आदमी का कोई लेना देना नहीं है?
जिस नेशन में हम लोग रह रहे हैं वहाँ पे चीजें जातिगत होने लगे हैं और जातिगत मुद्दा बनाया जाता है राजनीतिक पार्टियों के,
यानी हिंदू मुस्लिम बनाया जाता है।
मुस्लिम बना दिया गया, हिंदू मुस्लिम को भी डिवाइड करें तो शिया सुन्नी बना दिया गया, हिंदू को देखा जाए तो ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय शूद्र वैश्य में डिवाइड कर दिया गया, तो डिवाइड वाला प्रोसेस चल रहा है।
आपको लगता है सबसे बड़ा इशू युवाओं के लिए है कि जॉब चाहिए?
देखिए, हम अगर युवा हो चुके हैं और पढ़ाई लिखाई पूरी करने के बाद हमारी पारिवारिक जिम्मेदारियां होती हैं, उसके बाद हमारे लिए सबसे बड़ी प्रायोरिटी होती है हमारी जॉब, जिससे हमारी अपनी पारिवारिक जिम्मेदारियों का निर्वहन कर सकें और समाज के लिए अपना थोड़ा बेहतर कुछ कर सकें।
ये बताइए, ये जो हिजाब का मुद्दा उठा है, ये सही है गलत मुद्दा है? हिजाब पहनना चाहिए नहीं पहनना चाहिए?
पहनना चाहिए।
स्कूल में भी पहनना चाहिए या नहीं?
पहनना चाहिए स्कूल में भी।
क्यों?
क्योंकि ये हम लोग शुरू से पहन रहे हैं तो फिर पहनना ही चाहिए।
ये जो हिजाब का मुद्दा उठा है, आपको लगता है गलत है सही है?
बिल्कुल गलत है, ऑब्वियसली गलत
क्यों?
है। क्योंकि हम लोग कहा कि हम लोग क्या पहनेंगे क्या नहीं पहनेंगे, दूसरा कैसे डिसाइड कर सकता है?
अगर स्कूल का यूनिफॉर्म कहता है कि हिजाब नहीं तो
क्लासरूम में ना पहने कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, पर घर से तो पहन के जा सकते हैं ना।
और आपको ये कोई जोर जबरदस्ती करता है, या जो आपके घर में मर्द है वो कहते हैं नहीं पहनना, ऐसा कुछ नहीं?
ये हम लोग की चॉइस है।
ये आपकी चॉइस है।
जैसे अब हम लोग हेलमेट लगाते हैं तो हम लोग प्रोटेक्ट रहते हैं, वैसे हम लोग को प्रोटेक्ट रखना है, धूप से बाल अच्छे रहते हैं, स्किन भी सही रहती है।
जी,
हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो सरकार को क्यों प्रॉब्लम हो रही है? जब हमें कोई प्रॉब्लम होगी हम लोग आपसे कहेंगे तभी उनको प्रॉब्लम।
और ये पहले से आप पहनती थी या अभी शुरू किया है?
हम लोग शुरू से पहनते हैं।
पर आपको लगता है हर इंडिविजुअल का चॉइस है कि वो पहनना चाहे नहीं पहनना चाहे, कोई जबरदस्ती नहीं है?
इंडिया इसीलिए तो जानी जाती है
हाँ?
भाई, इंडिया इसीलिए तो हमारे कल्चर से तो जानी जाती है, इसमें हर तरह के लोग रहते हैं, हर चीज पहनते ओढ़ते हैं।
महंगाई है, बेरोजगारी है,
ये मुद्दे हैं।
और क्या हिजाब से किसी को क्या मतलब? कुछ भी पहने कोई।
ये हिजाब से क्या लेने देने, तो सदियों तो चला आया है। हिंदू औरतें जो है घूंघट काटती थी पहले, शर्म लिहाज, अब तो बाकी नहीं रह गया है, ठीक है? और बाकी हिजाब से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। और जो ये टीवी पे आ जाते हैं मौलाना मुल्ला और पंडित वंडित, ये अपनी जो बाजार चला रहे हैं, ये सब नेतागिरी, उनके दलाल हैं ये। अगर आप लोग
ये अपनी दुकान चला रहे हैं,
ये सब अपने जितने मीडिया में बैठा रहे हैं, जितने मौलाना मुल्ला पंडित जो भी है, तो ये दलाल हैं।
क्या नाम है आपका?
हमारा नाम आबिद हुसैन है।
तो आपको इनसे कोई लेना देना नहीं है?
किसी से नहीं लेना देना, ये सब दलाल हैं, ये सब हिंदू भाइयों को मुस्लिम भाइयों को आपस में लड़ाना जानते।
तो आप क्या चाहते हैं? मेन क्या चाहते हैं? आप क्या चाहते हैं?
भैया जो चल रहा है बस सही चल रहा है, क्या बताया जाए?
आप बस रोजगार चाहते हैं,
बस अपने हाथ से कमाना, बच्चों को खिलाना, और क्या?
तो ये आपको लगता है?
जो टीवी पे जो बैठाल देते हैं ये साले गुंडे कर दे सब, ये जितने भाषण मारते हैं बैठाल देते हैं, ये सब जनता को सिर्फ खाली आपस में लड़वा रहे हैं बस।
As you could say, angry voices from the street saying issues like hijab are being used to divide people, especially on the eve of the Uttar Pradesh elections where 2 rounds have already been completed. So therefore, how is it being seen by candidates and indeed by politicians here? Joining me now is Sadaf Jafar. Remember, she's the Congress candidate from here in central Lucknow, or activist, actor who's joined the Congress party, and also Shehzad Poonawala, the BJP's spokesperson. Sadaf Jafar, you may have heard some of the voices that I captured today in Lucknow. Most of them saying they are not interested in the issue of what happens with hijab. Hijab is to do with their religious identity, yes, but they are more concerned about jobs, about crumbling infrastructure, especially in central Lucknow. Do you believe, though, that the narrative is being slightly shifted because of these emotive issues? Or do you believe the narrative of this UP election is squarely on issues like Rozgar, like Suraksha, law and order, basic issues, rather than a Hijab Row of Karnataka being exported into UP?
See, UP is one state that has been very neglected over last 30 years. Especially in last 4 years, 5 years, we have seen, we've seen Corona crisis. We've seen very poor law and order situation. We've seen women getting raped and victims being burnt in the dead of the night. So there is rampant unemployment, Rajdeep, here. You will find not many people who are working or who have been given jobs in last 4 years in the government sector. There is a lot of disillusionment. So hijab or no hijab, people want job. People want education. People want better healthcare.
You're saying hijab or no hijab, people want better healthcare, better education, jobs. Shehzad Poonawalla, I've been in Lucknow since last night, and when I travel on the street and meet young people, I just spend an hour with some young people. Their basic issue is give us jobs. The fact is, this is a state, like many others, where the Center for Monitoring Indian Economy actually says the number of people employed has gone down in the last 5 years, Shehzad Poonawalla. Surely this is a time where the focus, therefore, should be squarely on which party can provide employment to the young. That's what people want, which can provide better education. Central Lucknow doesn't even have a single decent government school. It doesn't have a single decent government hospital. Surely that should be the debate, rather than trying to bring in hijab into the nature of the debate, as some politicians are doing here.
Rajdeep, you have a terrible audio line, so I hope your question is over. I'll try to answer it, and I hope I won't be interrupted. Rajdeep, look, is Kapil Sibal from the BJP? Kapil Sibal approached the Supreme Court to make this issue a national issue. The Supreme Court said, don't make it a national issue. B.V. Srinivas, is he from the BJP? Is Mr. Kamath from the BJP? Did we ask Rahul Gandhi when he was addressing a rally in Mengai in Rajasthan to speak about Hindutva? In fact, we are more than happy to talk about what we have done in UP in the last 5 years. For instance, Akhilesh Yadav had left the unemployment rate at 18%. We've got it down to 4.5%. And by the way, when we are talking about unemployment, let us understand that the same CMIE data that you were citing has said that in the last September of 2021, 85 lakh new jobs have been created. There's 29 core sectors apart from farming have created jobs. There's been 60% year-on-year growth in the white-collar jobs. These are all statistics that have come from there. But the same CMIE data shows that Rajasthan is #1 when it comes to unemployment. In fact, it was 27% in December, and it is as high as 53% for unemployed graduates in Rajasthan. In fact, the Rajasthan graduates came all the way to Uttar Pradesh. Sadaf is a candidate of the Congress party. She would have encountered how they came looking for Priyanka Vadra demanding jobs. So we are very happy to speak about what we've done for farmers, for instance. We've given over 36,000 crore loan maafi to the farmers. In Rajasthan, they have done nothing of that sort. In fact, the farmers are losing their lands, and those stories have been done by India Today. We are happy to speak about all these issues. In fact, we are saying that the hijab ke piche jo lagi hai aag, uske piche siyasi vote bank hisab kitab. Let me just give you last example, Rajdeep. In Maharashtra, your friend Aditya Thackeray has come out and said that in our schools, there will only be uniform. How come there is a protest about the same thing in Karnataka? Karnataka में वो सांप्रदायिक है. महाराष्ट्र जहाँ पर उनकी सरकार है, वहाँ पर आदित्य ठाकरे कहते हैं there'll be only uniforms in classrooms. That is secular. Kerala government banned hijab in police student cadets in the NCC. That time there was no secular outrage. And how come there's only an outrage when it happens in Karnataka when the matter is being heard by the courts? Malegaon, a huge rally was allowed. Why did they allow a rally in Malegaon on hijab?
You're saying...
About
You're saying that the BJP, you're saying, just a minute, you're saying the BJP is more than happy to have a debate on real issues like jobs and development. I just want to play what Yogi Adityanath, Chief Minister here, said at a rally, Shehzad Poonawalla. Listen in, because, clearly there are two narratives. There's the narrative of law and order and development, but there's also the narrative being played of Hindu-Muslim. I want you to hear it and then quickly respond. Listen in.
जो लोग सपना देख रहे हैं गजवाई हिंद का, मैं बहुत स्पष्टता के साथ कह सकता हूं, ये नया भारत है। ये दुनिया के सबसे लोकप्रिय नेता से नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व का भारत है। इस नए भारत में विकास सबका, लेकिन तुष्टीकरण किसी का नहीं। सबका साथ, सबके विकास की भावना के साथ सरकार कार्य कर रही है। सबका विश्वास और सबके प्रयास को लेकर के सरकार चल रही है। ये नया भारत संविधान के अनुरूप चलेगा, शरीयत के अनुरूप नहीं। और मैं इस बात को भी स्पष्टता के साथ कह सकता हूं, गजवाए हिंद का सपना कयामत के दिन तक भी साकार नहीं होगा।
You know, we heard the Uttarakhand Chief Minister in the middle of the election talk of the need for a uniform civil code. You've got Yogi Adityanath speaking of a Gazwaye Hind. I mean, surely he should be telling me how is he going to provide jobs to those who are unemployed. You threw figures at me. The fact is, CMI figures show less people are employed today in Uttar Pradesh than they were 5 years ago. I'm saying this is partly due to COVID in the last couple of years, but surely that's the issue on which there should be a full debate. Every time it appears that Yogi Adityanath also has a parallel track where he wants to raise issues which will divide.
Rajdeep,
I don't
did
think
you ask this
Rajdeep,
question
Shehzad
when Congress
has any
party in
on that.
Uttarakhand? Can I speak? Can I
Yes.
speak, Rajdeep? Because I have a terrible
go ahead.
audio line, and if she's going to interject in the middle, I won't be able to speak. Yeah, Rajdeep.
Go ahead.
You have a problem. I mean, you as in some people have a problem that our Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami ji spoke about a constitutional ideal of UCC, and that is being called divisive. Their party, Congress party, has spoken about a Muslim-only university in Uttarakhand. That is a promise they have made. That is not divisive. In Uttar Pradesh, the Congress party leaders are hobnobbing with Tauqir Raza, who says there will be a civil war if Muslim youths take up arms. They have a Samajwadi Party MP, Mr. Bark, who says that there should be Sharia, and because there's no Sharia and because there's secular law, Corona came to this country. These are the kind of people that are there. If we say that we will follow the constitution, we want uniform civil code, we want gender justice, what is wrong in this? And I'm asking Sadaf Jafar that why don't we compare 5 parameters between any government they have run in the last 5 years and Uttar Pradesh. Let us take, for instance, Rajasthan. The highest electricity rates, Rajasthan. The highest petrol rates in Rajasthan. The highest number of farmer suicides in one of their own states, Maharashtra. The highest number of farmers not being given loans, loan maafi, Rajasthan. Please let us discuss on any of these issues. As far as unemployment is concerned, Uttar Pradesh, it is 4.5%. It is almost 50% for graduates in Rajasthan. Let us pick up any parameter that my friend Sadaf wants, and we will discuss on those parameters. But the problem is, Sadaf is running away towards Tauqir Raza. She does not have real issues. Therefore, Rahul Gandhi goes to Mehengai rally and says Hindutva is equal to ISIS. Hindutva is like Boko Haram. Hindutva teaches to kill Muslims and Sikhs. Why do they raise these issues? And then we should not respond to these issues?
Sadaf Jafar, okay, Shehzad, Sadaf Jafar, there's a sense that it's one thing to attack the BJP for exporting the Hijab Row to Uttar Pradesh as some are, but the other view is that the Congress and indeed the Samajwadi Party are guilty of what is being described as minoritism. When you do share a platform with a Tauqir Raza who seems to be espousing a form of Islamic radicalism that will again only divide, surely you lose the moral high ground. The time has come for all these religious leaders who espouse identity politics pitting one community against the other to be marginalized. Otherwise, how are you in any way promoting communal amity?
See, the thing is that, Rajdeep, we are again diverting. I am asking you, where is clean drinking water in Lucknow Central? Where are the schools? If we have a government school, both the Hindus, the Muslims, the Dalits and the Savarns, children will study. Where are the schools? We have seen a corona crisis. We have seen Ram Nami Chadar being snatched away from the corpses of the dead on the banks of river Ganga. Why are we not talking about that? The mismanagement of COVID, the unemployment, the people committing suicide because of not having enough to feed their children, the high rates of EMIs. There has been no package whatsoever. Even the death certificate does not even mention corona. So there is no point that we discuss compensation here. These are the major issues, not Tauqir Raza. The issue is, where is clean drinking water in my constituency? They've not been able to provide that. They've not been able to provide any mohalla clinics. They've not been able to provide any decent school. They have not been able to even provide clean bylanes, sewage. What is Shahzad Poonawalla talking about?
But
I don't care about the statistics.
Sadaf Jafar, you raise important points of the collapse of civic infrastructure, which I saw in old Lucknow once again today. But this is not just post 2017. This has always been there in this city. The point is, successive governments have failed to address the issues of basic amenities to people when it comes to some of our urban cities, and you've got a situation of a job crisis, and you've got in some parts, and you've got rising prices. My point to you, Sadaf Jafar, is the Congress willing to have a full-fledged debate on only these issues, or does the Congress also want to, in a way, dip its hands in these communally polarizing issues like the Hijab Row? As Shahzad Poonawalla pointed out, there are Congress leaders also who are claiming they are standing up for the rights of Muslim women. But in the process, you are being accused also of promoting a certain regressive practice within Islam. You don't wear a hijab. Do you believe that these are regressive practices that are not socially essential to Islam?
We have a consent. We have right to choice. People can wear what they want to wear. What is more important, Rajdeep? I ask again and again. Girls getting educated, hijab or without hijab. The girls need to be educated. Girls need to be empowered. Girls need not be raped by MLAs, and MLAs go scot-free until and unless the media and the opposition steps in. Girls need secure spaces. Girls cannot get victimized, shamed. If they get raped, they need to get a proper, decent law and order. That is my issue. Hijab, no hijab, give them security, give them education, empower them, give them job, give them 40% of the seat reservation in election. Do that.
Okay.
With or without
Shahzad Poonawalla, the tragedy, the tragedy is, now 1 minute, Shahzad, there was someone on my, when I was traveling who made this point. He said you in television channels also, and he's probably right, play up these issues like the hijab. You need to also focus on our real issues, which include how do you provide quality jobs for people? How do you ensure better living spaces for people? The media is as culpable perhaps as politicians, but I just want to understand, is the BJP willing to have an election without any of the background noise of, demonizing any kind of community? Whether it is, that really is something that should be of concern. That if you seriously want to make issues of development, then only focus on that. Don't have this double track.
Yeah, let me address this, Rajdeep. And again, I'm having a very bad audio line, so just bear with me. Rajdeep, the Mukhyamantri of Uttar Pradesh and our party has spoken about how we have improved the law and order situation, particularly in western Uttar Pradesh. I remember that there was a time that 5 o'clock the shops used to be shut. When we spoke about how we have improved the law and order situation, why did these people start accusing us that it is Sampradayak politics? If we talk about taking to task Atankwadis and those who are Apradhis, when we say that we have taken the bulldozer to the illegal properties of those who are gangsters, why do they say that this is tormenting the minority community? Is the minority community represented by Afzal Guru and Yaqub Memon? Is the minority community not represented by Ustad Bismillah Khan or by General Usmani and other stalwarts of the community? And I'm asking you, let's talk about Corona, let's talk about COVID management. Let's compare. Uttar Pradesh, despite its financial position being less stronger than Maharashtra, has been able to do 100% fully vaccinate all the eligible adult population. What is the state of Maharashtra? The maximum number of deaths have come from the state of Maharashtra. In fact, when the matter went to Supreme Court about compensation, Rajdeep, let's not interrupt each other. Let's have a civil debate. We have a bad audio line. Yeah. Let me complete and then Rajdeep, she can come in. Let me complete my point.
Please
Rajdeep, when Supreme Court was hearing the matter of COVID Nyay, what Rahul Gandhi called COVID Nyay, it was Maharashtra government that got a fatkar from the Supreme Court saying that you have not paid compensation to the families of those who have died due to COVID, and Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat have actually gone ahead and paid the compensation. You please see the number number of deaths that have taken place in Uttar Pradesh and compare it to the number of deaths of Maharashtra, even if you double the number of deaths of Uttar Pradesh because you don't trust our figures. We have still managed COVID better. But here is my question to Sadaf. Here is my question to Sadaf. When we talk Sadaf, when we talk about taking action against Mukhtar Ansari, why do you feel that it is targeting Muslim community? I am a proud Indian Muslim and I am the spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, representing the Bharatiya Janata Party on this important issue.
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't need to know what kind of Muslim I am. I am an Indian and I'm very well happy about it. And this is I am talking about.
Yes, be happy about it, but then don't allow your party to come up with a narrative that Hindutva is equal to ISIS and Boko Haram. For God's sake, please respect the Hindu community of this country also, and please do not allow your party, for the sake of few vote banks, to destroy the secular fabric of this country.
Yeah, and who did that?
Okay, time out.
Who did?
I do hope that issues like COVID management would be raised more fully and completely during an election campaign like this. Unfortunately, they are not being raised at the moment. And
so is
those are the issues that really... Yeah, sure, but we need to have a fuller debate on that. That would really make sense. Thanks very much, though, to both of you for joining me at this moment.